Ankush, so we are talking about lessons in resilience. So as far as ShareChat is concerned, so you have had an eventful year, so to say, be it people, organization, leadership. I think, so you're best positioned to probably deliberate on how did you respond to such a situation. So maybe I think that's something that most of the startup ecosystem is now familiar with, this kind of a roller coaster ride. So you can.
Yeah, I think we've come, we are going through a massive change in the macros, right? Like the current pace of VC money being deployed in the ecosystem is about a third of its peak, about 2 years ago, right? So there is a very big change that's happening at the macro level. And all companies that will come out stronger from this would have one common trait, that they would have adapted really well to the current macro. And I think we set out, when we saw this coming, we're like, we need to adapt to this new reality, and the way we operate has to change. And just to give you some facts, right, our burn is down to a fifth of what it was, 18 months ago, while our revenues are doubled in that time. So I think we've come a long way there. And I think I think the narrative is that you have to cut costs, get efficiency, all of that. I think that's pretty much well known. I'm sure this group also knows. That's a very trivial gyan of sorts. What is non-trivial in this time is, despite this macro, what will you still keep investing in? And that will make a lot of difference when you sort of come out of this. So I think for us, we made sure that we keep investing behind our core. When I say core, one of the main things we do as a company is building the feed algorithm. That's the bread and butter of our business. How do you rank content? It takes a lot of investment into AI, building the team, cloud infrastructure, all of that. Despite everything that's happening around us, we made sure we keep investing behind it. And I think that's one thing that we truly believe will make a difference over long term. And while that is your core, everything around, you need to have a very, very clear mental map as a founder. What is your core bet? What is your high risk bet? What is something that you will live without in this macro? And as long as you have that mental map clear, I think everything else becomes easier. For example, what is the right size of the org to execute on this core? What is the capital requirement to fund the core? And then what is like beyond it? So I think when you have that clear mental map, all the other decisions become sort of a easier path forward. So I think that is what we have done. We have literally focused on the core, and everything else has had a very high bar for investment, both people and capital.
Ankush, so the short video based social platforms also have seen its sort of its moment in the sun, and then maybe that's also there. Also, we see some amount of, say, strategic action and consolidation, maybe. So, and also, the what's next for local homegrown social platforms, as far as also the entertainment platforms.
Yeah, no, I think there has been a lot of shift in the industry. There's a lot of consolidation, a lot of players shutting down, which is, I think, a natural part of the curve, right? Like when you had maybe 50 players coming in competing, you were bound to have some people fold up at the end. I think we were very clear from the day one when we launched Moj that the hardest part of building this business is, can you build great feed ranking? Can you invest in world-class AI to make that happen? And just to give you an example, right? Like last 12 or 18 months, as we have downsized the overall org, we have actually doubled our London AI team, because we know that is where we'll get long-term value. And that is why, despite everything that's happening to the domestic competition, we are holding strong on Moj and ShareChat, and Moj being a short video product. And we're still about a 150 million MAU product on Moj, growing well. So I think we have been very, very clear what it takes to build. And we're on that path. We will build a world-class short video product competing with the global giants. And we're now also in a much healthier state from a P&L point of view. For example, ShareChat is on its way to profitability, and that product of ours will be profitable in October this year. So we're like 2 months away. Moj, being a newer product, will probably take 6 more months. So now we know what it takes to scale DAUs and also to make that profitable. And we'll be the first profitable social media company coming out of India. And I think one of the very interesting phenomena like last few weeks on India being a Dow farm. It was all on Twitter. And that I think that's a very lazy sort of narrative, which is sort of now rubbing on Indian social media companies as well. To give you an example, I think the tweet was showing Facebook's ARPU being $5 in India and north of 100 in North America. Now guess what? The biggest cost to serve users is server cost. It takes $1 per year to serve. If your cost is $1 and you make $5 at a scale like a multi-hundred million Dow scale, that's a massively profitable business. So it's a very lazy narrative to say that like India is a Dow farm. I think we are now way more confident than ever that we'll build a massively profitable company, the most capital efficient media serving engine for this country. And over I think we're already seeing the signs of ShareChat getting profitable, then Moj getting profitable, our AI investment leading to more gains in time spent. So I think consolidation is good, that's happening in the industry. We remain as committed as ever, and you'll always find Moj to be a very strong competitor to all global short video companies in India.